Energy doesn't lie. You can feel it the moment you walk into a room. You can sense it before a word is spoken. You know when someone is aligned, and you know when someone's pretending. Energy tells the truth long before words do. You see, every one of us is radiating something. Confidence, chaos, peace, fear. You can't fake what you're carrying inside. You can dress it up, smile for the camera, play the part, but the vibration you live in will always expose the truth. That's why protecting your peace isn't just about boundaries with people. It's about mastering the energy you allow to exist inside of you. Too many people are drained not because of what they're doing, but because of who they're surrounded by. They're carrying other people's stress, other people's chaos, other people's negativity, and they wonder why they're tired all the time. Listen, you cannot build a powerful life while constantly managing other people's noise. Your peace is your foundation. Without it, nothing stands. Energy doesn't lie, and neither does your gut. You've felt it before. The heaviness when you're around someone who complains all the time, or that subtle tension when someone secretly resents your growth. Your intuition isn't paranoia, it's wisdom. It's your internal radar saying, something here is off. The problem is, most people ignore it. They talk themselves out of what their energy already knows. When you protect your peace, you reclaim your power. You stop explaining yourself to people who have no intention of understanding you. You stop chasing validation from people who can't even validate themselves. You stop apologizing for choosing peace over chaos, silence over drama, solitude over company that drains you. You have to understand your energy is your currency. Spend it wisely. Every conversation, every thought, every environment either feeds your soul or bleeds it. So ask yourself daily, who am I becoming when I'm around this person? How do I feel when I walk away? Energized or empty? Light or heavy? That answer will tell you everything you need to know. When you start living from a place of peace, people will notice. Some will respect it. Others will resist it. Don't take it personally. People who benefit from your chaos will never celebrate your calm. But that's okay. You're not here to please them. You're here to evolve. Protecting your peace doesn't mean isolation. It means elevation. It's choosing to rise above gossip, overthinking, and toxic cycles. It's about deciding that your energy is sacred, your time is valuable, and your heart deserves environments that make it thrive, not survive. Stop letting temporary emotions create permanent damage. Stop letting external chaos control your internal state. Master your energy and you master your life. The more peace you protect, the clearer your vision becomes. The clearer your vision becomes, the faster you move toward your purpose. You don't need everyone to understand your boundaries. You just need to honor them. You don't need to explain why you're distant. Your energy speaks for you. You don't need to fight to prove your worth. Your peace proves it every day. So guard it, protect it, feed it, because energy doesn't lie. And when your energy is right, your life, your relationships, your success, your mindset, they all align effortlessly. Protect your peace like your life depends on it, because it does. Energy reveals truth before words do. You can sense it, you can feel it, and deep down, you always know when something's off. It's that gut feeling that rises before logic kicks in, the unspoken awareness that tells you more than any conversation ever could. Every human being carries a frequency, a vibration that communicates louder than language. You've walked into rooms before and instantly felt the atmosphere. Sometimes it's light, vibrant, alive. Other times it's heavy, tense, almost suffocating. That isn't coincidence. That's energy speaking. It's the silent communication that exists beyond words, and it never lies. When you look at someone, you can often tell what they're carrying. You can see peace in their eyes or pain behind their smile. You can feel when someone is authentic or when they're pretending. Words can be rehearsed. Appearances can be controlled, but energy will always expose the truth. The most dangerous thing you can do in life is ignore the energy and focus only on what's being said, because energy is the real language of the soul, and it will tell you who's genuine, who's toxic, who's supportive, and who's secretly praying for your downfall. It's not about being paranoid, it's about being aware. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who seemed friendly on the surface, but something about them felt off? You couldn't explain it, but you knew deep inside that their smile didn't match their spirit. That's not judgment. That's awareness. That's your energetic intelligence picking up on the vibration they carry. Because no matter how hard people try to mask it, you can't fake what your soul is radiating. And that's why you need to listen to the signals you feel. They're there to guide you, to protect you, to reveal the truth behind appearances. Energy is information. It's feedback from the universe, constantly showing you what's aligned with you and what isn't. When something feels right, it flows. When something feels wrong, it resists. You don't have to force energy that's meant for you. It naturally feels lighter, smoother, easier. And when something isn't meant for you, your body knows. You'll feel tension, anxiety, confusion, or even physical discomfort. That's your internal compass trying to steer you toward truth. The problem is that most people have learned to silence that inner guidance. They overthink, rationalize, and talk themselves out of what they already know deep down. You must learn to trust what you feel even when it doesn't make sense yet, because energy doesn't lie. The person who drains you with every conversation, the job that feels like it's crushing your spirit, the friend who leaves you second-guessing yourself, those are all energetic truths. You don't need proof. You need peace. You don't need to analyze it to death. You just need to honor what your soul already knows. The more you pay attention to energy, the more clarity you gain. The more clarity you gain, the more aligned your life becomes. Every interaction is an exchange of energy. That's why you can feel exhausted after being around certain people and elevated after spending time with others. Some people feed your spirit, others feed on it. When you start viewing life this way, you realize that protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's essential. Because you're not just protecting your mood, you're protecting your truth. You can't attract abundance, peace, or love when your energy is clogged with negativity or surrounded by frequencies that don't match your purpose. Even within yourself, your energy tells the truth. You can say, I'm fine 1,000 times, but your energy will always expose how you truly feel. You can't fake peace and you can't fake alignment. When you're out of balance, your energy will feel restless. You'll feel scattered, drained, or disconnected. That's your body telling you something is off. Maybe your habits, your environment, or your relationships need adjustment. When you start listening to your energy instead of ignoring it, you begin to move with life instead of against it. Energy alignment is the foundation of success, health, and happiness. When your energy is clean, your decisions become clear. You stop chasing things that aren't meant for you. You stop forcing situations that drain you. You stop entertaining people who don't match your vibration. Life starts to flow because you're no longer betraying what you feel. You're operating from truth. And truth always has a powerful frequency. It attracts clarity, it attracts opportunity, it attracts people who align with your vision. You have to remember that words are limited. They can mislead, manipulate, or hide. But energy always tells the real story. That's why it's so important to stop judging life by appearances. The loudest person in the room isn't always the strongest. The quiet one in the corner might carry the deepest power. The person who praises you today might envy you tomorrow, but their energy, if you pay attention, will always show you who they are. You can't control how others show up, but you can control how you read and respond. Stop explaining away bad energy because someone has good intentions. Stop ignoring what you feel just because you don't want to believe it. When something feels off, it's off. When something feels right, it's right. Trust your inner signal more than you trust someone's words, because that's your highest form of intelligence. The wisdom that speaks without language. Energy speaks louder than emotion, louder than logic, louder than words. It is the pulse behind everything you experience. When you begin to live with that awareness, you stop wasting time trying to decode people's words and start observing how you feel around them. You stop getting lost in surface level communication and start connecting to truth. You realize that peace, love, and alignment are not things you chase. They're frequencies you tune into. Every day, your energy is either expanding or contracting. It's either rising or sinking, depending on what you feed it. Pay attention to the energy you bring into a room. Pay attention to the way people feel around you. Your vibration either empowers others or drains them. You are always transmitting something, whether you know it or not. So ask yourself, what message is my energy sending? Is it one of confidence and calm, or one of chaos and fear? Energy reveals everything. It shows whether you're walking in truth or pretending. It exposes whether you're in alignment or denial. It reflects your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. When your energy is rooted in authenticity, people feel it without you saying a word. When your energy is inconsistent, people sense it too. You don't have to explain who you are. Your energy already did. And the world responds accordingly. Protecting your peace is protecting your power. The moment you allow anything or anyone to disturb your peace, you hand over your control. Peace is not passive. It's power under control. It's the ability to remain centered when everything around you tries to pull you apart. Most people think peace is something they find once life calms down, but the truth is peace is something you create in the middle of chaos. It's not the absence of problems, it's the presence of power within yourself. When you protect that peace, you protect the very core of your strength, your focus, and your energy. You've got to understand that peace isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Without it, your energy gets scattered, your mind becomes cloudy, and your decisions lose direction. You start reacting instead of responding. You start living emotionally instead of intentionally. When your peace is gone, your power fades with it, because your power lives in your ability to stay calm, focused, and aligned in the face of disruption. Every distraction, every argument, every toxic situation is designed to pull you away from that alignment. That's why protecting your peace isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's choosing your growth over noise, your purpose over drama, your future over feelings. People will test your peace without even realizing it. They'll project their insecurities, unload their problems, and expect you to carry their chaos. But here's the truth. You cannot heal people who refuse to take responsibility for their energy. You can love them, you can pray for them, but you can't let them drain you. Protecting your peace sometimes means walking away quietly, not because you don't care, but because you do, about yourself. You know that every moment spent defending your energy from unnecessary battles is a moment stolen from your purpose. You can't fight every fight, you can't fix every person, and you can't explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Protecting your peace means knowing what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Your peace is your inner sanctuary, the place where your power recharges. When you let negativity enter that space, it begins to contaminate your clarity. That's when doubt creeps in, fear grows, and anger takes control. You start to question your worth, your direction, your purpose, not because anything changed, but because your energy got hijacked. This is why boundaries are essential. Boundaries are not about keeping people out. They're about keeping your peace in. They remind you and everyone else where your power begins and where it ends. People who respect your peace will understand your boundaries. People who don't were never meant to be that close to your energy in the first place. Protecting your peace doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop allowing chaos to lead your life. It's learning to detach from what you cannot control. It's learning to respond instead of react. It's learning that silence can be louder than confrontation. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to explain every choice you make. You don't owe anyone access to your energy just because they demand it. When you start living like that, you begin to feel the shift. Your energy becomes lighter, your focus sharper, your creativity stronger. You begin to attract calm situations because you've become calm within yourself. Your peace is your shield. It protects your vision, your confidence, and your emotional stability. When you guard it, you move with a different level of confidence. You stop reacting to people's chaos because you realize their energy is a reflection of them, not of you. You stop taking things personally because you understand that peace doesn't depend on circumstances. It depends on discipline. It's about choosing how you respond no matter what happens. The world will always throw challenges your way, but how you respond determines whether those challenges build you or break you. Protecting your peace is protecting your ability to rise above what's trying to pull you down. When you operate from peace, you make better decisions. You see things clearly because you're not operating from panic or pressure. You don't rush, you don't chase, you align. You understand that what's meant for you will never require you to sacrifice your peace to keep it. That's how powerful peace is. It acts as a filter for everything in your life. If it costs your peace, it's too expensive. If it steals your joy, it's not worth it. If it makes you question your value, it doesn't belong. Protecting your peace is protecting the frequency where your highest potential lies. There will be moments when the world tries to shake you, when people test your patience, when situations challenge your balance. Those are the moments where your peace becomes your weapon. Instead of reacting, you breathe. Instead of fighting, you focus. Instead of matching energy, you elevate it. That's power. Real power is calm. Real power doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't prove. It simply stands strong and grounded, knowing that nothing external can disturb what's stable within. When you reach that level, you become unstoppable because chaos no longer controls your direction. Protecting your peace also means protecting your mind. What you feed it determines what you feel. If you're constantly absorbing negativity, gossip, comparison, or doubt, you're weakening your inner stability. You've got to guard your input, what you watch, what you listen to, who you talk to. Everything carries energy, and energy multiplies where it's welcomed. Protect your mind like it's sacred ground, because it is. That's where your vision lives, your dreams breathe, and your power expands. You can't pour light into the world if you're constantly letting darkness into your mind. There's also a kind of peace that comes from letting go. Letting go of control, of grudges, of needing closure. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is release what no longer aligns with you. You don't need to fight for what's fading. You don't need to force what's flowing away. Protecting your peace means trusting that life removes things to make room for better ones. It means knowing that detaching doesn't make you cold. It makes you wise. You stop trying to change people who don't want to grow. You stop trying to convince others to see your worth. You stop lowering your frequency just to be understood. You rise quietly, peacefully, powerfully. When you live in that state of inner calm, you begin to see how unstoppable peace truly is. It changes the way you move through the world. It changes the way you speak, the way you handle pressure, the way you lead. You become the calm in the storm, the steady in the chaos, the light in the darkness. Protecting your peace is not about building walls. It's about building strength. It's about creating a space within yourself that nothing and no one can shake. Because when your peace is protected, your power cannot be taken. Your intuition never lies. Trust your energetic awareness, that voice inside you, that subtle pull, that quiet feeling that something is either right or wrong. It's not imagination. It's your internal compass guiding you toward truth. Every time you've ignored it, you've felt the consequences. Every time you've trusted it, you've felt alignment. Intuition is the deepest form of intelligence you have because it's not filtered through fear or logic. It's pure awareness. It's the energy of your higher self trying to communicate before your mind interferes. It's the language of the soul, and it's always accurate. The problem is that most people have been trained to doubt it, to rationalize it, to explain it away until they can no longer hear it clearly. You've had moments when your intuition whispered that something wasn't right about a person, an opportunity, or a situation, but you overrode it because you wanted to believe the best, because you didn't want to seem judgmental, or because you didn't trust yourself enough. Later, when things fell apart, you realized that you knew it all along. That wasn't coincidence. That was intuition trying to protect your peace. It's the energetic awareness that senses vibration before behavior. It reads frequency, not words. It knows truth before evidence. When you begin to listen to it, life becomes more aligned, smoother, and less chaotic. Because you're no longer walking blindly, you're being guided by something wiser than logic. Intuition is not loud, it's calm. It doesn't shout, it whispers. It doesn't panic, it simply knows. It's that instant calm clarity that rises even when everything around you feels confusing. It's not emotion. Emotion reacts to the external, while intuition originates from within. Emotions can lie because they're based on past pain or fear, but intuition is pure truth, untouched by conditioning. When you learn to separate emotion from intuition, you begin to master your energy. You stop reacting and start discerning. You stop forcing things to fit and start allowing what fits naturally. You begin to trust your flow instead of forcing your will. Energetic awareness is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Every day, your body and spirit are giving you signals, subtle sensations, shifts in mood, sudden clarity, or even physical discomfort. That's your energy communicating with you. When you ignore those signs, you end up drained, off balance, or stuck in situations that your intuition tried to warn you about. But when you listen, you move differently. You become intentional about who you allow into your space, what you commit to, and what you walk away from. You start filtering life through alignment instead of appearance. You stop chasing what looks good and start following what feels right. Trusting your intuition requires courage because it will often guide you in directions that don't make sense to your mind. It might tell you to leave a situation that seems perfect on the outside, to say no when everyone expects you to say yes, to slow down when the world tells you to speed up. But that's because intuition sees what logic can't. It sees the energy behind the surface. It feels the truth behind intentions. It knows who's genuine and who's pretending and what's temporary. The moment you start listening to it, you begin to move from alignment rather than anxiety. You stop second guessing yourself because you're rooted in inner knowing instead of external validation. Every human being carries an energetic field that holds truth. Your intuition reads that field instantly. It doesn't need conversation, it just knows. That's why you can meet someone and immediately feel peace or tension. That's why some environments uplift you and others drain you. Your energetic awareness is constantly interpreting these vibrations. When something aligns with your frequency, it feels like flow, like expansion, like ease. When it's not aligned, it feels like resistance, like heaviness, like pressure. That's not your imagination. That's your energy signaling whether to move forward or step away. People often ignore intuition because they want proof, but intuition isn't about evidence. It's about trust. You can't always explain why you feel what you feel, but you don't need to. You just need to respect it. The more you honor it, the clearer it becomes. The more you dismiss it, the quieter it grows. Eventually, if you ignore it long enough, you'll lose connection with that voice and start relying entirely on logic, which can only see what's visible. Intuition, however, can sense what's invisible. It feels the undercurrents. It reads what energy is truly present. It's the difference between hearing someone's words and feeling their intention. When you begin to live in tune with your intuition, you start moving with life instead of against it. You stop overanalyzing every choice. You stop doubting every step. You start trusting that every feeling, every pause, every shift is part of divine timing. You learn to follow the flow of energy instead of fighting it. That doesn't mean life becomes perfect. It means you begin to move through it with clarity and confidence. You don't need constant reassurance from others because you're connected to your own inner guidance system. You don't seek direction outside of yourself because you already feel it within. Energetic awareness also means becoming conscious of what you're giving and receiving. Every interaction is an energy exchange, and your intuition will tell you immediately when that exchange is balanced or not. You'll feel when someone's presence nourishes you and when it depletes you. You'll know when you're being valued and when you're being used. You'll sense when a situation is serving your growth or keeping you stuck. Trust those signals. They're not random. They're real-time feedback from your energetic intelligence. Protecting your peace means acting on that awareness instead of waiting for things to get worse. Your intuition doesn't always lead to comfort, but it always leads to truth. Sometimes following it means walking alone, taking risks, or letting go of what no longer aligns. It might feel uncertain at first, but that's the point. Intuition doesn't give you the full map. It gives you the next step. And when you take that step, the next one appears. That's how you build trust with yourself. Every time you listen and act, your inner power grows stronger. Every time you ignore it, you weaken that bond. Eventually, you reach a point where you don't just trust your intuition, you depend on it because it's never wrong. You'll notice that when you begin to live from intuition, your energy feels lighter. You don't get entangled in unnecessary drama or confusion because your awareness filters it before it reaches your peace. You stop explaining your decisions because you no longer need others to validate them. You simply know what's right for you. You become more selective with what you allow into your space because you understand that protecting your energy is not about being distant. It's about being deliberate. You know what resonates with your frequency and what doesn't. And you stop forcing yourself into spaces that don't feel right just to please people. Intuition also strengthens your connection with purpose. It pulls you toward what fulfills you and pushes you away from what drains you. It guides you toward the people who align with your growth and away from those who distract you from it. It whispers in moments of uncertainty, reminding you that you already know the answer. You just need to be quiet enough to hear it. That's why stillness is so powerful. When you slow down and silence the noise, your intuition speaks louder. It's always there, waiting for you to listen. Energetic awareness is about trusting the unseen. It's about understanding that energy carries truth long before reality catches up. When you start trusting that truth, you start being reactive and start being intentional. You start feeling when to act and when to wait, when to speak and when to stay silent, when to hold on and when to let go. You start living in sync with a rhythm that always guides you toward alignment, abundance, and peace. Trusting your intuition isn't mystical. It's mastery. It's mastering your awareness so deeply that you can sense truth without needing proof. And that's where your real power begins. Boundaries are not rejection. They're self-respect. They're not walls to keep people out. They're gates that determine who has earned the right to enter. Too many people think setting boundaries means being cold or distant, but in reality, it's one of the most powerful acts of love you can give yourself. Boundaries say, this is what I allow, this is what I don't, this is how I deserve to be treated. Without them, you invite chaos, disrespect, and emotional exhaustion into your life. Boundaries protect your peace, your focus, and your purpose. They are the line that separates empowerment from depletion, clarity from confusion, freedom from frustration. When you live without boundaries, you teach people that your time, your energy, and your emotions are open for misuse. You end up giving more than you receive, saying yes when you mean no, and carrying burdens that aren't yours to hold. Then you wonder why you're tired, frustrated, or unfulfilled. It's not because you're weak. It's because you've been trying to be everything for everyone. Boundaries are how you stop that cycle. They're not selfish, they're sacred. They are how you take back control of your energy and teach the world how to treat you. Because the truth is, people can only cross lines you never drew. Setting boundaries means recognizing that not everyone deserves unlimited access to you. Some people drain you without even realizing it. Some people take and take because you've always given. But you have to understand it's not your responsibility to make everyone happy, fix their problems, or save them from themselves. You are responsible for your energy, your peace, your healing, and your growth. Boundaries don't mean you love people less. They mean you finally love yourself enough to stop abandoning your own needs. When you begin to value your energy, you naturally become more selective about who gets to share it. There's a myth that strong people don't need boundaries, that they can handle everything and everyone. But strength isn't about tolerating disrespect. It's about knowing when to walk away from it. It's not about enduring everything. It's about discerning what's worth enduring. You don't need to prove your worth through overgiving, overworking, or over-explaining. You just need to stand firm in your values. The moment you start doing that, everything around you changes. People who genuinely respect you will adapt to your boundaries. Those who don't will fall away. And that's not loss. That's alignment. Boundaries are clarity. They show others who you are and what you stand for. They tell people, I value my peace. I value my time. I value my mental and emotional space. Without boundaries, you attract confusion. People won't know where they stand, and you'll constantly feel like you're being taken advantage of. Boundaries remove that uncertainty. They allow healthy relationships to grow because both sides understand the limits, the respect, and the expectations. And in that clarity, love deepens, communication strengthens, and energy flows more freely. You've probably been in situations where you gave too much of yourself, hoping it would make someone appreciate you more. You tried to be available, understanding, patient, but instead of gratitude, you got disappointment. That's not because you weren't enough. It's because you didn't protect yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't keep giving your best to people who only take. When you start setting boundaries, you shift from people pleasing to self-honoring. You realize your worth doesn't depend on how much you do for others. It depends on how deeply you value yourself. Setting boundaries will make some people uncomfortable, especially those who benefited from your lack of them. The moment you stop allowing certain behaviors, you'll notice resistance. People will say you've changed, that you're selfish, that you've become distant. But that's just their discomfort speaking, not the truth. They're not used to you having standards, and your boundaries expose where they've been taken advantage. Don't let guilt break your resolve. Every time you reinforce a boundary, you reinforce your power. Every time you say no from a place of love and clarity, you say yes to your peace. Boundaries also extend beyond people. They apply to habits, thoughts, and environments. You need boundaries with your time, your phone, your distractions, even your self-talk. Protecting your energy means limiting anything that drains your focus or lowers your vibration. That could mean saying no to negative conversations, limiting your exposure to drama, or refusing to let self-doubt live rent free in your mind. You are the gatekeeper of your inner world, and what you allow shapes how you feel, how you perform, and how you grow. Every time you reinforce a boundary, you strengthen your inner foundation. Boundaries are the architecture of peace. Without them, life feels chaotic. With them, everything begins to fall into place. They help you stay centered, balanced, and in control of your direction. They give you the freedom to focus on what truly matters, your growth, your purpose, your happiness. You stop chasing external validation and start living from internal security. You no longer seek approval because your peace becomes your priority. That's what boundaries do. They shift your life from reaction to intention, from exhaustion to empowerment. Sometimes the hardest boundary to set is with yourself. It's saying no to the part of you that wants to please everyone. It's saying no to old patterns that kept you small. It's saying no to fear, guilt, and self-sabotage. You have to discipline your energy the same way you protect it from others. That means honoring your own word, keeping promises to yourself, and not allowing your emotions to dictate your standards. Boundaries are self-accountability in action. They're not just rules for others, they're standards for how you show up for yourself. When you start living with boundaries, your energy changes. You stop explaining, you stop chasing, and you stop begging people to treat you right. You no longer feel guilty for prioritizing your needs. You begin to operate from a place of calm confidence instead of constant chaos. You walk with self-respect, and that energy commands respect from others without you saying a word. People begin to recognize your boundaries not through what you tell them, but through how you carry yourself. You move differently, you speak differently, and you attract differently because your vibration shifts from seeking to knowing. Boundaries also teach emotional maturity. They allow you to separate your feelings from others' reactions. You stop trying to control how people respond to your truth. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You stop explaining your boundaries as if they're negotiable. You realize that protecting your peace doesn't require anyone's permission. Boundaries aren't built to offend. They're built to protect your growth. They're how you ensure your energy stays focused on what nourishes your purpose, not what drains it. There's a power that comes when you finally realize that saying no doesn't make you unkind. It makes you wise. It means you're no longer sacrificing your mental health for acceptance. You're no longer stretching yourself thin just to be seen as good. You're done betraying yourself for approval. You're done confusing love with tolerance. You're done mistaking endurance for strength. Real strength is knowing when enough is enough, and real love includes self-love. That's what boundaries represent, the bridge between loving others and honoring yourself. Every time you set a boundary, you send a message to the universe that you're ready for better. You declare that your energy is sacred and your peace is non-negotiable. You let go of the people and situations that can't respect your limits, and you make room for those who do. You begin to operate at a higher frequency where peace, respect, and authenticity flow naturally. Boundaries don't limit your life. They expand it because they create space for what's real, what's healthy, and what's aligned with your highest self. Master your energy, and your life aligns naturally. Energy is the invisible force that governs everything you do, everything you feel, and everything you attract. It moves faster than thought and communicates more truth than words ever could. When you start mastering it, you stop being at the mercy of circumstances, other people's moods, or chaotic environments. You begin to create instead of react. You begin to move with intention instead of drifting. Your energy sets the tone for your experiences, your relationships, and your achievements. The more conscious you are of it, the more control you have over your results. Mastering your energy starts with awareness. You have to know where your energy goes, how it feels, and what affects it. Are you spending time with people who uplift you or those who drain you? Are your thoughts empowering, or are they filled with doubt and fear? Are your actions aligned with your purpose, or are they scattered in response to distraction? Awareness is the first step because you cannot manage what you don't see. Most people are unconscious about their energy. They react, complain, and blame. But awareness gives you the power to respond with clarity, to make decisions that protect and elevate your frequency. Energy is like a magnet. What you radiate is what you attract. If your energy is chaotic, confused, or negative, you will draw people, situations, and results that mirror that state. If your energy is clear, confident, and aligned, the world responds in kind. That's why mastering your energy is critical. It's the ultimate form of influence over your life. You don't need to fight circumstances. You simply raise your vibration and watch how everything begins to fall into place. People start showing up differently, opportunities appear more easily, and your path becomes illuminated. Mastery of energy also means understanding the difference between reaction and response. When life challenges you, you can either allow the chaos to control you, or you can maintain your center and choose your next move. Most people react. They get frustrated, angry, anxious, or upset. But when you master your energy, you respond from a place of clarity and power. You don't allow external forces to hijack your internal state. You create a space between stimulus and reaction where your power lives. That space is the difference between being a victim of circumstances and being the creator of your life. Your energy is your most valuable currency. Every thought, word, and action either invests in it or drains it. When you're intentional with your energy, you begin to see life differently. You stop wasting it on drama, negativity, and people who don't align with your vision. You stop giving it away to situations that are not your responsibility. You become strategic about how you spend your time, where you focus your attention, and who you allow into your sphere. That's how energy mastery becomes a game changer. It puts you in control of the life you experience instead of leaving you at the mercy of circumstances. Mastering your energy also means mastering your thoughts. Your mind is the generator of your vibration, and unchecked thoughts can create chaos. Negative self-talk, overthinking, and limiting beliefs are energy leaks. When you become aware of these patterns, you can redirect your energy toward empowering thoughts that align with your purpose. This is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing which energy you feed. You are the gatekeeper of your mind, and the energy you cultivate there flows directly into your life. Another element of energy mastery is emotional management. Emotions are powerful signals, but they are not permanent states unless you allow them to be. Anger, fear, resentment, and anxiety are high drain energies when indulged. When you learn to feel without being consumed, to acknowledge without reacting, your energy stabilizes, you become grounded. You stop giving away your power to temporary emotional storms. This is where discipline intersects with energy mastery. Discipline over reaction allows your energy to remain clean, aligned, and potent. Environment is another critical factor in energy mastery. The spaces you inhabit, the people you interact with, and the stimuli you expose yourself to all affect your frequency. High energy, positive environments amplify your vibration. Toxic, chaotic, or draining environments lower it. Mastery means being selective. It means creating spaces, both physical and emotional, that support your peace, your focus, and your growth. It means curating your world in a way that naturally aligns with your purpose and your power. Energy mastery also extends to your interactions with others. Every relationship is an exchange of energy. When you master yours, you stop absorbing unnecessary drama or negativity. You stop reacting to people who are misaligned with your frequency. Instead, you influence subtly through your own calm, confident presence. You teach people how to interact with you without saying a word. Your energy becomes the silent force that shapes your environment, your opportunities, and your connections. Mastery requires consistency. Energy is like a muscle. The more you practice control, the stronger it becomes. Daily habits, intentional practices, and self-awareness reinforce the state of alignment. Meditation, visualization, gratitude, focused breathing, and conscious movement are all ways to keep your energy clean and powerful. Small, consistent actions compound over time, creating a magnetic frequency that naturally draws everything you need into your life. Your energy also determines resilience. Life will always present challenges, setbacks, and unexpected disruptions. When your energy is mastered, you remain anchored regardless of the storm around you. You don't crumble under pressure, you adapt, pivot, and move forward with clarity. Mastery doesn't make life easier, it makes you stronger. It allows you to navigate complexity without losing your center, to face adversity without surrendering your power, and to rise above circumstances instead of being consumed by them. Energy mastery influences creativity and intuition. When your frequency is clean and aligned, your mind opens to solutions, opportunities, and insights that were invisible before. Your intuition speaks more clearly because it isn't drowned out by chaos or fear. Creativity flows because your energy is not fragmented. It is concentrated, focused, and elevated. Mastering energy allows you to access the deeper layers of your mind and spirit where innovation, inspiration, and clarity live naturally. Time is also controlled by energy. When you are aligned, focused, and clear, you operate efficiently. Tasks are completed faster, decisions are made with confidence, and your life feels lighter because you are no longer expending energy on unnecessary resistance. Chaos wastes time, alignment saves it. Energy mastery creates flow in your life where you accomplish more with less stress, fewer obstacles, and greater satisfaction. Finally, energy mastery is about ownership. You own your state. You own your vibration. You own your responses. You stop blaming circumstances, other people, or the world for how you feel. You recognize that power lives inside you, and it's your responsibility to cultivate it, protect it, and direct it. When you accept that responsibility, your life begins to align naturally, effortlessly, and powerfully. Your health improves, your relationships flourish, your career grows, and your mindset expands because everything you encounter responds to the energy you consistently cultivate, protect, and project.